Listen to me. This camera on me? This camera on me? They would have won a 7th championship, hands down. I mean, you saw it in Jordan's face. He was just like, it don't sit right with me. It don't sit right with me. To this day, it don't sit right with him. He just can't accept it. They would have won a 7th title. Jordan was still in his prime. Yes, he went to that retirement, but you see he came back out of retirement again and played that little stint with the Wizards. With that team and that chemistry they had, they were a cohesive unit. Him, Steve Kerr, Scottie, Dennis, they all knew what made each other tick. They all knew how to play together. They were winning the 7th title. Point blank, period. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews and
Symone. Jalen Mills is somebody that I get behind.
I'm not even gonna cap on DeAndre Hopkins. He has the best hands in the league. Played
through it, hobbling on back to the field.
Right. I'm saying when you one of the best teams out there, you know the other team's division ain't got no choice but to try and get like you. You dig?
So let's get right into the video.
Let's go.
This is the last edition of The Last Dance, episodes 9 and 10, the finale, boy.
What a great dance. What a great doc.
What a great everything. But let's get right into it because they don't want to hear us talking about nothing but that drama.
Right.
So, Dylan, at the end of the documentary, Michael Jordan was saying how he would have signed a 1-year deal. He's sure that Dennis would have signed a 1-year deal. They would have had to convince Scottie, but he's sure that they would have convinced Scottie to sign a 1-year deal and go on a run for a 7th championship with the Bulls. He said he's upset that he didn't even get the chance to try to get that 7th championship. Talk about that Bulls team. Would they have won a 7th championship?
Listen to me. This camera on me? This camera on me? They would have won a 7th championship, hands down. I mean, you saw it in Jordan's face. He was just like, it don't sit right with me. It don't sit right with me. To this day, it don't sit right with him. He just can't accept it. They would have won a 7th title. Jordan was still in his prime. Yes, he went to that retirement, but you see he came back out of retirement again and played that little stint with the Wizards. With that team and that chemistry they had, they were a cohesive unit. Him, Steve Kerr, Scottie, Dennis, they all knew what made each other tick. They all knew how to play together. They were winning the 7th title. Point blank, period. They had already taken down, we'll get into this a little later, they had already taken down a Pacers team who everybody felt they were a little bit better than them. Jordan said it was their toughest test. They took down them. I mean, who's stopping them? I don't know.
Let's talk about that stacked Pacers team.
Man. That Pacers team was stacked. They had a good little squad. Once they was talking about the doc, it's like, you know, we had obviously Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, Mark Jackson, one of the best assists, man, one of the best assistant point guards in the game. They had obviously a young and upcoming Jalen Rose. They had Chris Mullin, a sweet shooter. They had a nice big man. That was a stacked team. That was a tough matchup for Jordan and them boys. Do you think that
Jordan, we saw Reggie Miller had that, Reggie Miller was intense.
Oh, yeah.
Reggie Miller seemed like he was working on the court. And I know that's their jobs. They're all working. But Reggie Miller looked like he was on the clock. Like he had a job to do.
I mean, you heard it himself. He said he was trying to retire Michael Jordan.
He was trying to retire Michael Jordan. Do you think Reggie Miller, Jordan would have been able to take him down, though, again in that 7th championship run? You believe that?
Oh, yeah. Jordan is just, Reggie Miller was up to that level in competitiveness.
Not just Reggie Miller, but that whole team.
Yeah, I mean, that whole team. But, I mean, I don't think they could have done it. They couldn't have stopped him.
Yeah, because he had that. He had that killer.
And think about this. I mean, the Jazz had 2 shots at the Bulls. Mind you, that's not the same kind of team. But the Bulls had their own matchup problems with Karl Malone and John Stockton and those boys in Utah in that 97-98 when they battled each other twice in the finals. I mean, what's to say the Pacers would have got another shot? They probably wouldn't have done anything either. The Jazz didn't. I'm not convinced the Pacers would have.
Okay. So speaking of Karl Malone, the 1997 NBA MVP. Could anybody get an MVP over Michael Jordan? Do you think that was a little biased? Do they maybe sick of giving it to Jordan? Or you think he deserved it?
I think it's kind of like how we've seen in our era, the whole LeBron thing. If
LeBron is on the court, he's the MVP.
Period. He's the MVP. It's just like you can't give it to him every year, even though we know he deserves it. You still have to recognize the other players because I mean, first of all,
you recognize the MVP.
I mean, you recognize the MVP, but there are other.
Don't tell me we have to argue.
We're gonna have to argue. Let me break it down to you like this, okay? Let me break it down to you like this. being the MVP, is Michael Jordan the MVP overall? Yes, but there are plenty of, there's an MVP on each team.
Oh, okay,
and
I see what you're saying.
And those MVPs deserve to get recognized too if you're close to that level. Is anybody on LeBron's level? No. Was anybody on Jordan's level? No. But they still, in my opinion, deserve to get that recognition if they're having a super stellar out of their light year type year. Like James Harden, when he won the MVP, he just was going crazy the whole entire year. When Russell won it, he averaged a triple-double, going crazy the entire year. So yes, LeBron could be it every year. Yes, Jordan could have been it every year. But those guys, I mean, you have to give respect where respect is due on the other hand of that too. Like, those guys deserved it. So I'm okay with them getting that recognition because in my mind, they still deserved it. They were still at an MVP type level.
That's fair. I definitely receive what you're saying. But I will say, when I think MVP, I don't think team by team is the most valuable player in the league.
That is true.
So Jordan, if Jordan was on the court, Jordan was the MVP. LeBron's on the court, if he's breathing, he's the MVP. Now, I do see how maybe someone can argue, like you just did, about, another team that they're the LeBron of their team. They might not be LeBron, but they're the LeBron of their team. But I just don't like that.
And I got one more point on this whole MVP discussion. Like, think about it the MVP is given out on a year-by-year basis, right? We already know everybody wanted to watch Jordan. Everybody wanted to watch LeBron. But you think, who was that other person that were driving up TV ratings or people definitely had to see that year? Like in our time, it was Westbrook. It was Harden. It was Derrick Rose in 2008, or 2010. You got to think about that too. Like year by year, yes, they are consistently great, and that's why I think it's kind of hard for the commissioners back in the day, us being Adam Silver, then being David Stern. I think that's why it's hard for them to give it through every year because at a certain point you just expect that out of them, which is not fair. Which is why I still agree that they deserve the MVP every year, but I still see where they're coming from because you look at certain years. You're like, oh dang, I really want to watch this game. It got LeBron and it got James Harden in it, or it got Jordan and it got Karl Malone in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think if you earned it, you get it. That's like,
and they earned it. They still earned it.
No, I think if you're the most, maybe they need to change the name. Most means most. Overall, top, most valuable player. Most valuable player. And I don't really know what I'm gonna. This is not about this. This is Jordan video. Can you believe that the flu game we've been hearing about since youngins, since little children?
Since we were cheering.
The flu game. That's all you hear. Like, literally, when you playing sports growing up and you're not feeling good, your coach gonna tell you not LeBron. They're gonna tell you Jordan played with the flu. Like, anytime you're not in the mood to do something, like, somebody gonna tell you, oh, flu game, you gotta perform even when you're not feeling good. Can you believe the flu game was not?
It wasn't.
The flu game?
It was food poisoning. And first of all, I want to get this out right now. Utah, y'all really irked me. Y'all dirty.
Utah doesn't sound like a dirty state.
Cause I know the people who made that pizza. As soon as that call came in from the assistant ordering that pizza, and you find out it was from Michael Jordan, y'all knew y'all was playing them in the finals.
Do you really think they poisoned that pizza?
Yes, I do. I wholeheartedly believe that poisoned that pizza. That's wrong.
If they poisoned that pizza, they would have got arrested. Do you realize what kind of crime that is?
But that's petty though. They're not gonna. First of all, for it to be a crime, it has to be reported. It didn't get reported.
You don't think that Jordan's people, if you get poisoned, I'm gonna call Pizza Hut and say who cooked that pizza last night. You'll figure it out. They have all the resources. I think if it was poison, they would have found out who did that.
But I think
he had a bad cheese.
I think they didn't find out for a few reasons. Now, could they have poisoned? I don't know for a fact they poisoned it. That's just what I think. But I think it's the night before the finals. He's already waking up at 2:30. Pizza Hut closed. I mean, they probably was closed. So ain't no way you can find out. And then like going for the next day, I mean, it's over with then. So I see why they didn't do it. They got the finals coming up. It's bigger fish to fry. So, and they already knew what Mike was. So I get why they didn't pursue it. It's just kind of petty at that point. And you can't prove it. That's something you can't really prove. I mean, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't really know. But to me, I feel like you can't prove it. But Utah, y'all just dirty, bro. I feel like y'all poisoned that. That's wrong. I ain't eating no pizza in Utah. I don't even want to go to Utah.
Because I don't think they poisoned it.
I think they poisoned it.
I feel like they poisoned it, they'd still be in prison. Poisoning Michael Jordan. First of all, poisoning anybody's food. But then poisoning Michael Jordan's food.
They did it.
They'll be up under the grave right now.
They did it.
Anyways, that's crazy. Like, nobody can say flu game no more. It wasn't flu game.
I know, food poisoning game.
It was pizza game.
It don't even
bad pizza game. Bad cheese.
What we gonna call it?
It was that swine. Did you have pepperoni on that pizza?
No, he did.
Swine.
Michael Jordan looked like a meat lovers type of guy to me. All right, Symone, let's get into some other. There was a lot of little juiciness happening in this final. So we going to. I think this was game 6 because they forced it to a game 7.
Mm-hmm.
Game 6 of the 1998 Eastern Conference Finals. Pacers, Bulls. Last play of the game.
Reggie Miller on a mission. Trying to retire Michael Jordan.
And he gives Michael Jordan a slight little nudge to free up that pace. You know he put his body into him.
Reggie Miller was on a mission. When I tell you, throughout this whole doc, we've seen a lot of guys from the 90s, the early 2000s. Besides Michael Jordan, the only person I've seen, Reggie Miller, bruh,
was about that action.
He was about that action. I have so much respect for him. Like, he just seemed, like I said, he seemed like he was on a job. He seemed like he was on the clock.
I remember watching the Reggie Miller 30 for 30. Man, Reggie was that dude too.
But in that one scene of him, when he got to, get that shot off, he was willing to do whatever he had to do. Mind you, he already knows how MJ is and his personality. If you do something to tick him off, he gonna be whatever. He still said, man,
he hit him
I
with
got
that
something
hit
to do.
stick.
I got a shot to make.
He hit him with that hit stick.
He said,
scurried
I
off.
pushed him.
Boom,
and made that shot. That shot was crazy.
Hit him with the fader, boy. That was cold, Reggie. I gotta give it to you. That was cold. That was clutch.
Reggie. That's Reggie got that intensity.
That's one thing about Reggie, boy. He will talk that talk, but he back it up. Not respect that. He back it up. He back that thing up. He back that mouth up. All right, let's also talk about Dennis Rodman doing it again, bro. Man, missed a whole practice just to wrestle, be in the WWE and act a fool cut.
Practice in the run to the finals.
Good.
Was it which game? After which game?
I think it was after game 5 or game 6.
This
I don't
won't
remember.
know just low management missing practice.
This man just said, "Bump it. I'm gonna miss practice."
But that shot of the media literally running after him, what were y'all gonna do when y'all caught up to him?
Exactly. Like, y'all cannot.
That's
they really
a bad
look for the media. Y'all look like some savage wolves running after a rat.
With that big camera.
Exactly. Y'all made the media look
terrible.
Y'all
really made the media look terrible.
Y'all look calm down. Drink some water. You look too thirsty.
And when you caught up with him, what do you think was going to happen? He wasn't going to say anything. He obviously didn't want to talk.
He was running off on a plug for a reason. As soon as y'all see him running away, I wouldn't have wasted my energy to run. First of all, because you're too far away. Y'all won't catch up to him all that equipment.
And if someone is running away from you, that means they don't rock with you.
They don't rock with you. They don't want to talk to you. So you wasn't finna get those scoops in T-Wave. Okay?
You wasn't about to get those scoops. We had such a fun time covering The Last Dance. Let us know what you guys think about the whole documentary. Let us know what you guys... I feel like we should play some sad music. This is sad. Let us know, okay, going back, do y'all think Isaiah Thomas was petty for what he was saying about, the Bulls taking Dennis and taking their culture and all that? Do y'all think the media was so out of pocket? Would the Bulls have won in 1999? You know what I'm saying? Would they have won in 2000? Would the Bulls have, got that 7th championship win? What other questions is left?
What was your biggest takeaway overall from the whole documentary? Like, from after seeing this, is Jordan the GOAT?
Is he the GOAT?
Is he the GOAT?
LeBron versus
MJ?
You know?
You want to hear about it next?
All right.
Bye.